Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, Wells Fargo, the Russell Berry Foundation, Making a Difference, the Northward Center, New Jersey Resources, the law firm of Gibbons, P.C., MD Advantage Insurance Company of New Jersey, Community Food Bank of New Jersey, and by ADP, a comprehensive provider of human resources technology and services. Promotional support provided by NJ.com, Small News, Big News, True Jersey, and by Tap Into TV.
This is One-on-One. I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this. You got this?
Here it is, man. Look at it.
Life without dance is boring.
I don't care how good you are or how good you think you are, there is always something to learn.
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No. People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
That's a good question. High five.
We are honored to be joined by Bobby Sobel, who is fifth grade teacher in Randolph, New Jersey at a school
named Shangam.
I want to make sure you said it right. Did you just not say that you recognize impatience in people because you teach fifth grade?
I teach fifth grade, so I can deal with anything at any time.
Anything?
Anything.
So what prepared you to be the teacher you are? By the way, we're going to talk about your unique teaching approach in a second.
I had great role models.
Go ahead.
My parents are both teachers.
Is that right?
Yes.
So as a kid?
As a kid, I used to help my mom all the time.
Do what? Lesson plans?
No, do bulletin boards, book orders.
Really?
I loved being in the classroom.
Where'd you grow up?
West Orange.
West Orange, New Jersey, not too far from where we're taping. So you were fascinated by teaching at a very young age?
Yes.
And made a decision pretty early on?
Yes.
Okay, so you are teaching fifth grade.
Yes, I am.
And you come up with this unique teaching approach.
I did not come up with this. It is a philosophy that was created by Nancy Sula at IDE Corporation called Learner Active Technology Infused Classroom.
Otherwise known as?
LATTE, or I was originally taught LATTE, and then they changed it to LATIC to include the C for classroom. It was brought to our district as something that was innovative, and if you wanted to learn and do something different, you could take a 2-week class during the summer.
And you did this?
I did it.
And you learned?
I learned.
About this new approach?
It is a most amazing approach, and I am now also helping new teachers learn how to do it.
Well, Bobby, we can talk about it, or we can take a look at this classroom close-up clip that tells us all about it.
Now would be a great time for you to take out your activity sheets and see what you need to schedule for your day. The object is, in my room, to be who you are. A child doesn't need to come to a lesson if they already know the concept. I have 5 groups. How many do you want to circle? There are days I'll sit at my desk and I'll just watch them. They're all learning how they want to learn it, and they all get the same skills, just in different ways. What do you see different on these problems?
It's divided by, and it's a different,
Learner Active Technology Infused Classroom. LATTE is a philosophy, the teacher being a facilitator in the room, not the teacher in the room. I started to implement it in my classroom 5 years ago. I will only teach LATTE. My students come in, they read the front board, which is the morning message, they take a schedule, and they start scheduling their day. They have 3 hours during the day they get to schedule on their own. They get to choose what times they want to do what. You can do it in any order you want. This is a resource table where all the materials that the children will need for the entire day are right at their fingertips. My children know what they need help with and what they don't know. And that's one of the skills that they learn in my class. They have to realize, I don't know this. I think I better ask for help. And they do. Now they can either just sign up for a mini lesson if I'm having one that day, or they can actually just write it on the help board saying, you know what? I just don't know how to do this. Let me just put it on the help board, and Mrs. Sobel will help me tomorrow, and she'll do a mini lesson tomorrow. Let's start again, small and easy. What's great is if you're a slow learner, Nobody knows that you're a slow learner. No one knows that you're not on the same page as the person who's, academically brighter. So they don't get embarrassed. There's no grades like A, B, C, D. It's practitioner or apprentice or expert, and they choose where they should be on the rubric. So they work towards that goal. So they self-regulate themselves. One of the main aspects of Laddie is to learn about who you are, time management skills. It's organization. It's knowing what you need. Children's parents aren't going to go to college with them. They need to make their own choices. They need to make choices, and if they're bad choices, you'll learn from them. I want them to have all these life lessons. I want them to go with them through life and know that they can accomplish anything they want and that they have a choice and that they have a voice. My goal is to be the best teacher, that my children learn and that I keep learning as a teacher. I want my children to be better people when they leave my room. I want to have just been a part of their life.
Simply amazing. Why are we so emotional at the end of that?
Because I want my kids to be great kids, to be great people, great adults. I want them to make choices and take chances. They have a voice. I want them to use it.
I've seen a lot of these videos, classroom close-up videos with from our friends at the New Jersey Education Association. But this, they've all been fascinating, but this one, it just blew me away.
I saw that in your face.
Well, because for a lot of reasons, but we have a daughter who's in the 4th grade. And I think to myself, how would she adapt to this? Do all kids act differently? Even though I'm in honors, I'm in this, I'm in that.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't. In one class one year, I had the lowest of the low and the highest of the high, and they were both in my class, and they both learned, they both came out. Their standardized score tests were amazing. They went off to middle school and did phenomenal. It doesn't matter any way you are academically, children just grow. They learn better.
Are there certain subjects that are taught under this Laddie?
I do language, arts, and math.
Language, arts, I stepped on here. Language, arts, and math.
Math. And I do a little bit more with science, but I don't teach social studies.
Because?
Because I share that with another teacher.
One of the obvious questions that seems to me to be obvious is, why is this approach not universally implemented?
It is one form of student-centered learning, which is now becoming more prevalent in the education world. So there are different forms. This just happens to be one form. It is starting to become more and more into all schools. It's not just in Randolph. It's in many schools around the country. Laddie is not, but other forms of student learning are.
How long have you been teaching?
21 years at Chungum.
So, in terms of the level of passion and enthusiasm, have you lost any of it?
No.
No.
I want more. So now I'm working on having my children come up and be the problem finders instead of just the problem solvers. I want them to figure out what needs to be fixed and how they're going to go about fixing it using the curriculum that we have.
What do you get from parents?
They love it.
They do?
Oh my, they love it. I get parents from children that I've had come back and tell me how fabulous the transition to middle school was. And the kids come back and they're like, you helped me so much in math. And now I can't believe I could go and ask a teacher for help. I couldn't do that before until you gave me those tools. So, it's just fabulous. Like, teaching is the best profession because you get to help the minds of all these young people and see where they go in the future.
Thank you, Mrs. Sobel. Bobby, you're great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing for as long as you want to.
Don't know how long that's going to be, but I'm going to keep plugging at it.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back right after this.
To see more one-on-one with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato, PhD, and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
We are honored to welcome Thumbelina Newsome, CEO of a great organization called Joy Cometh in the Morning. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Steve.
Born and raised where?
In Newark.
Where? Okay,
at
now
Beth Israel Hospital.
From the
here.
Beth?
That's right.
That's so interesting.
Yes, yes.
I was born and raised in the other part of the city.
Where?
In the North Ward.
Oh, okay.
Clara Mossville is my
Moss,
place.
okay.
Yeah. So let me try this on you. People say, oh, Joy Cometh in the Morning. That's an interesting name. Who are they and what do they do? I know that you are an adult daycare center or a day center.
Social adult daycare center.
Yeah, break that down. What does it mean?
Yeah, well, actually,
Typical day. Go ahead.
My mother was the owner of it for 9 years. We've been in business for 9 years. 3 years ago, I bought it from her. I left my corporate job because I knew that that was a diamond in the rough, and where I was working wasn't enough. I needed to fulfill God's purpose for me.
Hold on, take a step back.
Yeah.
You were making good money in pharma.
Yeah.
You had a good corporate job.
Money means nothing. Absolutely nothing. When you know that there's something deeper for you to do, you know that there's something inside of you that you have to give to the world.
How'd you know?
I just felt it. I knew it. I can't even tell you because it came like this. I would do it for no money. Easy.
But your mom was doing it, right?
Yep.
Were you around it? Even
All my life. All my life, she's always been in that industry for like 30, 40 years. So she's been around for a long time. And, you know, it's an honor because I get to take this legacy and run with it and make her proud. And not only that, give back to my ancestors, the seniors. Yeah.
Why don't you do this for folks? Because they hear a social adult day center. Yeah. Break it down. People come in. Who are the people? First of all, who are the people?
So we cater to senior citizens. People, we solve the problem of a common problem of senior depression. Seniors are so depressed. They sit at home, their spouses die, their children die. They have nothing, they have no one. We go get them. We have transportation. We pick them up, take them to and from the center. We feed them. We provide a day of activities for them. Sometimes we go out and we do things, but we give them the social life that they need. We give them activities for the brain. We give them activities to develop their motor skills and stuff that are weakened over time. So
what about the social piece? Because so many seniors are isolated.
Oh, so many. So what we do is we get a chance to sit around. We get to go out into the community. We go back to other small businesses and restaurants where we give back to the small community, to the small businesses. We give back to them by saying, hey, we're going out to lunch today. Let's go. Where are we going? And that they start looking for small businesses that we could give back to. As far as restaurants, like Vonda's Kitchen, you know,
Great
we give back. Awesome, phenomenal.
Great.
So,
by the way, if you're in around Newark, check it out.
Yeah.
But you know what's interesting? I often disclose different relationships that we have, but this is a relationship I want to disclose. My son, Stephen, who teaches right now at St. Benedict's Prep, a very important school in this city, teaching young people, disproportionately minority students who come from some challenging situations.
Absolutely.
I don't even know how he met you.
But through a community service project. He was doing a community service project, and he called, and I said, why don't you come by and see who we are? And this is our 3rd year that we've been doing this. So their boys come over for a month. They do not report to school. They report to us, and we become their classroom. And it's therapeutic for these young boys because their grandparents are young. They don't get to see seniors and developmentally disabled. They don't know how Alzheimer's and dementia works. So they get to see it, and I get to teach them public speaking. I get to teach them the business part of it. Let them see some bills, some receipts, you know. So
these 15, 16-year-olds.
It doesn't matter. They need to know. And they come out crying, these boys, saying, I didn't know seniors were this cool. And I'm like, of course, of course. So they get to sit amongst wisdom every single day for a month.
And you know what's interesting is our friend Barry Carter, who is a terrific journalist over at The Ledger and NJ.com.
Great guy.
He did a feature about you and your work, and it also got our interest as well.
Yeah.
How important is it for you and your organization to get, because you don't seek attention, you don't want attention, but it's important, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so important because these seniors are dying. This is the latter part of their lives. They have nothing. They've given to this community. This community is built on their backs. They're the ones who bought homes and they paid taxes here and helped build schools, and they voted. They're the people who built this community, and they are the forgotten population. And
forgotten.
Forgotten.
People often see older people, particularly those who are struggling
with
some cognitive issues, other issues, and they just look away.
Yeah.
You never could.
No, I can't.
Listen, we're not here to proselytize, if you will, but for For those who just look away because it's uncomfortable, you say.
Yeah, it's disturbing to me because they're human beings, number one. And I feel like God holds us accountable for that. We're held accountable for, that's our brother, our sister, our mother, our fathers. You wouldn't be who you are without the ancestor. We are who we are because of them. And they become my babies. I love what I do. I get to bring joy, not only to the world, but to people who were forgotten. And it costs me nothing.
Well, you know, it's interesting talking about cost. You also have to raise money. You have to stay in business.
Yeah.
And so as a student of leadership, I want to ask you something. Given your life in corporate America and the pharmaceutical world and the work you do now leading this nonprofit, taking over after your mom, what is the most significant lesson you learned about leadership?
Oh, my God. The greatest lesson I learned is that my employees are my greatest asset. Because God gives me the vision, I give it to them, and they execute it. Without them, I could not do what I do. I couldn't do it by myself. It takes a team. So my employees are my greatest asset, and that's the greatest lesson that I've learned.
Let me flip it on you.
Yeah.
There has to be times, there must be times, well, with all your faith and all your commitment and passion, but there must be times where you say, really?
Yeah, in the beginning, I wanted to quit. I said, God, you didn't call me for this. No way. No way. The money was hard. I had just lost my husband. My husband passed away of cancer. And he had died the next year after I took over. And I was devastated. I have 3 children. I was devastated. But I knew the call that was on my life was stronger than death. It was stronger than anything that I could even think of. So I had to do the work. I wasn't called here for just to be here on earth to do nothing. I was called here to do the work. And that's what I'm doing.
And so, as we're running out of time, I'm going to ask you something. So fear. I mean, some of us who run not-for-profits, we're afraid of, hey, can we bring in enough money? We're afraid of, you know, can we survive?
Yeah.
You're not afraid?
No, I have no fear.
Is that really, again, people say, hey, you're on public television, why are we talking about religion? It's not talking about religion, but we are talking about the place for religion in your life. Is that the core for you, your faith?
It is. That's all I have. I become
no, hold on. You got skills and tools.
I get it. But I have God first. And without him, I'm nothing. I have nothing. I'm nothing. And there's a blessedness to possessing nothing. And there's a blessedness because you don't want to do anything. There's a blessedness to possessing nothing. There's nothing that I want more than to serve and to please God. And that's it. So I don't look for the money. I don't need it means nothing. It's meaningless. You can't take it with you when you go.
What have you taught your kids in all this?
The same thing, and they've watched this. My test, watching my husband pass away, was a test for all of us. And for them to see me still serve, because that's the key, serving. They learn. They've learned the lesson. It's not about you. It's not about us. It's about him.
Is it scary sometimes? I know we're running out of time. Is it scary sometimes when you see so many people as polarized as we are as a nation and not thinking about, quote, anyone else, but, hey, listen, my taxes are good, I'm fine.
Yeah, it's scary to me. It does. It does because I know they haven't grasped the concept of serving and what you're really here for. That their minds and lenses are clouded with everything else around them.
You know something? You had the nerve to say to me before we started this segment, what'd you say?
I was nervous.
You nervous now?
No.
You know why?
Why?
Because you helped a lot of people and you focused all your energy on that. I'm not going to turn this into a public speaking seminar, but that's what I learned a long time ago. As long as you're focused on helping others, you're going to be all right.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Steve.
Keep doing what you're doing.
I appreciate it.
This is One-on-One, and these are the kind of great people we have here. Be right back.
To see more One-on-One with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato PhD and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
We're honored to be joined by Mr. Jimmy Brown, the what? Third, fourth?
Third.
And who's the fourth?
Jimmy Brown, the fourth, is my son.
You're from Staten Island. You're a research participant, the Center for Spinal Stimulation at Kessler Foundation. Jimmy, great to have you with us.
Thank you.
First of all, the fact that you're participating tonight in this forum is a big deal.
Very.
Tell folks in 2004 how your life changed.
In 2004, I was 24 years old. I went down the shore, and unfortunately, I dove into a shallow bay and broke my neck, and changed life quite a bit. I was athletic. I played sports my whole life. I went to St. Peter's in Jersey City. I played baseball. So not being able to participate in sports and my leisure activities was quite dramatic.
Your family, you got a boy and a girl?
Boy and a girl.
Ages?
2 and 5.
Jim, let's do this. We talk about being a research participant, but break down for people, like, what does that mean? Like, what kind of research are we talking about at the foundation?
So I've done the exoskeleton, which is walking in the robot. I've done the TRT study, which is you get some testosterone gel and you put that on your shoulders every day for 6 months. And now I'm doing the stimulation of the spine. I actually have it on the back of my neck now. It's not activated, but it's lined up for later.
I'm sorry for interrupting, Jim. Is that the transcutaneous?
Correct.
Transcutaneous stimulation, let's get this, folks. It's a non-invasive treatment, applies an electrical current to the skin overlying the spinal cord to promote voluntary muscle firing and independent movement. Well, that's a little jargony. Break that down.
So I've done some stimulation before in the past where they basically put the stim pads right on your muscles and it automatically moves your muscles for you. This, I believe, goes slightly below where the stimulation is doing it for you. It's voluntarily,
right?
But it's very interesting stuff. I've noticed pretty good gains. You may not see dramatic gains from the naked eye, but what I feel is something that is very hard to put in words. Listen, 5% gain for you might not be something to the naked eye, but 5% in my lifestyle is tremendous.
Yeah, let's talk about that 5%, because one of the things Jim's going to do in the panel that I'll be moderating, that he'll be a part of, help us understand this. You're going to hold a glass. Don't take it from me. You do it. What are you going to do?
So basically, they're going to put water in a glass, and I have to pick the glass up and fill a cup with water. Seems like a rather simple task, but something that I cannot do right now independently without the stim. Cannot pick the glass up enough to get it to turn and put water in a cup is something that with the stim on, I can lift up and turn and pour the water in a cup. It is, and like I said, what I can feel in my hand, the grip strength, the amount of, the power that you can put into them fingers, that little bit of gain where I can't do it without it, putting the stimulation on and pouring the water in the cup, that little bit that it gives you allows, and when you convert that, I mean, that's just water in a cup today, and you put that into perspective in life, it's...
What could that mean? What does that mean to you? Forget about the clinical research stuff, the medicine, the medical piece. What does it mean to you personally?
My son throws a ball at me right now. The fact that I could just grab that little ball and throw it back to him, it brings a tear to your eye.
Hey, Jimmy, listen, we appreciate you coming over from the island, from Staten Island, to be with us. We can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
We wish you all good things. We thank you for being a part of this conversation, because we could talk about it. I could talk to clinicians, researchers, but it's only people like you who are actually participating who can tell us what really is going on. So I want to thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, Wells Fargo, the Russell Berry Foundation, the Northward Center, New Jersey Resources, the law firm of Gibbons PC, MD Advantage Insurance Company of New Jersey, Community Food Bank of New Jersey, and by ADP. Promotional support provided by NJ.com and by Tap Into TV. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.
Look around. 1 in 7 New Jersey children goes hungry every day. Hunger is everywhere right here where we live, and it doesn't look like you think. Help the Community Food Bank of New Jersey feed our hungry neighbors.
Do you make decisions? Do I eat or do I get my medicine? Do I eat or do I pay my rent? And you got people making decisions like this each and every day, juggling their finances. How are they gonna pay a bill here? Do I pay my car note or do I eat?